If you're at the point in your training that you are now considering training on a wooden dummy, it is very likely that you're familiar with the concepts of Chi Sau, rolling arms, single Chi Sau, Chi Sau, Sau ball training, which is the wall bag training, and then you're moving on to the wooden dummy. When you're working and training on the wooden dummy, the consistencies are apparent. The distance training on the dummy is to standing in a relaxed stance, just simply drop your weight and make sure that your palms can touch the middle section of the dummy with your elbows at 1 fist distance from the body. This distance is the same from the trunk as your Chi Sau positioning, which you will be very familiar with. Look at 1 fist distance from the body. Again, punching a wall bag would have the same distance in the general training. So there is a consistency in the niche distance that Wing Chun practitioners try to occupy. The first observation that's probably likely is to see that the two upper arms are actually offset. They move away from the center line. The reason for this is quite simple. When a person strikes toward you, your shoulders, which are on either side of the body, obviously away from the midline. When you punch toward the center so that you don't leave a gap along that vital center line. So each punch actually takes the function of going across, even to reach the center. Your punches, if they were here, are going across the center. So what we're doing is we're having the arms at this particular angle. In order to get to the outside of a person, if you see the breadth of my body, you'd have to come across at this angle to break at 45 degrees. So we're looking at getting to the elbow, breaking across at the elbow. This is often called the queue or the bridge. This area here is the area that you wish to break down. So understanding this, then you can see that one of the concepts you're going to try and undertake is to move around the dummy from this side and get to that side. However, it is not practical and it's not realistically something you should be practicing to go from this side of the dummy all the way over to this side of the dummy, all the way over to this side of the dummy. You'll end up almost jumping from side to side, which is not practical. So what you actually do is you take an intermediary step in between. So what we do is that we would be on the outside like so. We would then from that position move to the center of the dummy, angled in basically a side stance. And then from that position we'll step and we'll break the angle across, simulating breaking inside the elbow, back out to center and back in at about 45 degrees. When you face the wooden dummy, you only face the body with your upper shoulders. You don't face the body with your hips as well. So don't lock your hips, because what will happen is your hip will lock into your front leg and any pressure on your arm will make you lose your balance. Whereas if you're unlocked, you can give when there's excessive pressure. So from this position here, you then move to the outside, back to center line. And then from this position, you can move comfortably, breaking and dominating that angle across at the elbow. Once again, it's 1 fist distance from the body, whatever movement you do. It doesn't matter how you want to block, what shape you want to pose, and I will use that word pose on purpose. It doesn't matter what you want to do, it's just a piece of wood. The idea of the footwork is you move from this angle, first of all, toward the center, and then back in again, and then back out toward the center, and then back in again. In the form, we add an extra movement in between. So what we generally do is move from here, which is the outside area. I mean, it can be inside or outside in terms of imagination. But from here, we're moving from this section of the dummy to here, then to center, and then back out. And then instead of coming back to center, we dominate again to this side, then we come to center, and then we move to the outside. So that is the basic concept of how you move around the wooden dummy to begin with. It is very important that you understand that. If you're a student learning techniques like Tanda, Ganda, Quan Sau, you're learning the shapes and the frames. The first time you walk on a dummy and you try to work on that dummy, you're going to find it quite complicated. So I hope that clarifies the principle of how you move.